I think either team's made major flubs in this draft, to be honest. It feels like both teams have kind of gone the direction they wanted. You know, I have my thoughts a little bit about the Xayah into the Ezreal specifically, but overall, I think this one gives both teams a pretty fair chance.
About this guy.
He did. You know, I feel like it's a missed opportunity for Keen to bring that champion in the game until Showmaker, but actually that's a huge trade.
Yeah,
even Shiwu there.
Even taking a turret shot, but still not going to be too worried about it. Lucid in position to go for something, and Canyon's on the bottom side of the map. Good ward over the wall here from Keen. Will spot out the Scorpion making its way in, but is it actually going to help the situation? That's the question here. As Chovy, not going to be able to save him with a teleport or anything like that as Canyon. Oh, brilliant flash over from Lucid as Keen will be taken down and he tanks up just enough turret shots. And these dives are difficult at this stage of the game.
Grubs have been started, but Chovy has priority here. There's obviously a Realm Warp in return. Lucid will take one and start to walk away. Will we see a recontest for more? Looks like no.
Yep, we are just going to hear the train coming on out. It is going to be the first grub picked up by Gen.G. DK already picking up one of them. So third one going to be going over to Canyon there as well. So slight advantage, but no one grabbing feats of strength as far as that is concerned.
Well, for anyone who didn't know, obviously now you have to hit your E first to get the root. Before you didn't. You just pressed W and it rooted. So it was very effective at setting up ganks. Unless you rooted a minion, then it wasn't very effective.
It was not very effective. No. Same thing could be said for pre-workouts, pre-rework Scion.
Keen has a choice. He can either move up towards Scrubs and be there to assist, or he can be down to catch the wave. It looks like the decision is he's moving up. She was getting ready to TP.
Yep, Showmaker looking for an angle here as Beryl goes in. Canyon is ulted. Keeping himself safe here as the train is going to crash into the wall. Showmaker now pushed out of the fight though, as Lucid will get knocked up and he's the first target. Gen.G just eviscerate the Skarner. Still, Showmaker in position doing a fair bit of damage. Chovy going exceptionally low, but I think he's going to be safe for now, aiming the next target here as he will get knocked up. Beryl being an absolute hero, and Showmaker can now throw down the massive damage from this machine gun rise, and now is realm warping, looking to stop Keen, stop Duro from being able to do anything here, and Dplus, a gorgeous team fight to start off the game.
Super scrappy one, and you saw Showmaker getting so many rotations of spells, but the damage wasn't quite cutting through quick enough. You know, the other one's in control of this bot side now, and actually they might be looking for Showmaker under this tower.
Yep, Showmaker just trying to get that fancy footwork out as in goes Canyon. Showmaker was playing hyper aggressive as Duro comes on over, and the Realm Warp is going to get him to the cow. He's going to try and deliver this kill back, as Lucid just a little bit late to this one. Duro just very happy to run around here, has the Unbreakable Will, and in the mid lane, that is where DK are trying to make that cross-map play. Ruler doing his best to clear out the minions. But I think that's just a Showmaker for nothing, and they'll pick up a dragon.
Yeah, beautiful from Gen.G, and I feel like Dplus kind of missing the mark a little bit. Feels like that game plan. Oh, looking for TP now from Shiwu.
Yeah, and Duro, no ulti available and no health to speak of as well. True Shot Barrage coming on down, but that is Shiwu grabbing the kill immediately. Now everyone just finding the CC. Canyon impaled and taken down. Beautiful quickness there from Beryl to help out as Chovy is in trouble. There are 4 people, and Beryl, he knows exactly who he wants to take out.
Smooth response from Dplus as once again put them in the lead.
And it really felt like Gen.G had made the map play, right? Like it felt like there was going to be no contest, no answer, but the fact that the cooldown of the Unbreakable Will comes out meant that Duro was completely useless, didn't have the health bar, wasn't able to go on a reset, and Gen.G feeling like they'd been able to get a free opening towards the Drake turned into DK, understanding exactly where the cooldowns were at and capitalizing effectively.
Oh, Showmaker trouble again.
Yeah, Wind becomes lightning as he's going to try and offer some damage back. Duro, not a lot of damage himself, nor does he have the ult, but in a second's time he will. Still, Showmaker trying his very best to at least make it difficult for them to take this one down, as finally they do. And Duro can tank about 11,500 turret shots with his Unbreakable Will. 3 time on the turret, and Shiwu might actually have some friends coming in to help out as well, as this Q just to try and clear out the wave, but there's the CC, the layering's good, and Beryl happy to tank this turret up. Chovy towards the top side of the map, but it is going to be Lucid defending as Canyon takes that Rift Herald like you were talking about. So Gen.G able to pull this one back. It's within touching distance as far as the gold, but feats of strength going over to Gen.G is a big deal as they were able to pick up the first turret in the mid lane.
I think the lesson I've kind of learned from this game so far is just don't be in a side lane, because it just hasn't been healthy for anyone. They've managed to secure the dragon, you know. Ruler started the recall. There was damage on Akeen, but he's just so tanky. It took a lot of effort to get him that low, and even then he has an ending despair, so he would be able to heal up. But the damage on Ruler was what stuck, and she was doing a great job of landing that. The dragon secured for Dplus.
Buff right here. And so what do they have? What can they do to make sure that this one's going to be safe? Right now, full vision control is working out as Wind becomes lightning from Canyon.
TP's being committed.
Yeah, they are looking for it. Gen.G, it's almost down to half health, but it's not going down all that quickly. Duro on a flank angle, wanting to be able to get Shio out of there as he's looking for a flank. In comes the Rift Herald as well, as now Keen just puts his body in front, but look, he's melting! Just cut down right in front of their eyes. He's gonna have to just call a train for himself to get out. And DK are saying thanks for the leash. Their health bars look so much better. And without their frontline tank, they're not gonna be able to do this. It's gonna be a 50-50, but it's Lucid that takes it down. And Canyon with a defensive ultimate is gonna try and get him out of there. But these flowers go to DK, and they actually have a real decent lead now.
It's gonna amplify that dragon, any future ones they get. They are gonna start feeling really bulky as a result as we get into this game. Now they are looking towards Canyon on the bot side.
Beryl just holding onto his Q, or his W, sorry, just to make sure that Canyon wasn't going to be able to immune it. And even though the Impale doesn't find a target, that's because the target was a corpse.
Oh, maybe I spoke too soon.
Yeah, perhaps 3 versus 2 right here as he does flash away. Shock Blast as well, doing a lot of damage as Lucid delivers Keen into the backline. I don't know about it, but he's still just getting destroyed. Articon or no Articon, I guess this guy's just made a paper as Chovy and Showmaker went for a scuffle.
As I was saying, we've seen a lot of these. Oh, Ruler, you're just dead.
I have a feeling he is not going to survive. There is a teleport coming over, so it may not just be him. He cleanses the wallbang, but that's not going to save him as Chovy's like, no, I'm getting out of here. And that's a really good idea. Yeah, he doesn't have an opportunity to get out anymore. That was a good flash. The charm had to be maneuvered as well, but look at this. Lucid's going to move up, and Keen has to invest the ulti, and Canyon is just dead. Not sure how that happened. He was probably rotating down to try and pay for the sins of the Gen.G carries. Yeah, there is some vision around the area, but I don't know whether any of it has actually seen DK, and this is going down so fast. My God!
Getting so much DPS. They have that Baron in pocket.
Impressive start to the series. We do know that often they can start with a bang, and then maybe not quite find too much more after that. This is a best of 3, and it does mean that they're going to have to keep up this level of locked-innedness.
They can do.
Down to 50% is the Dragon. Lucid in a good position to go for this one as Canyon gets over. He can threaten the smite now as Showmaker moves out of the way of the charm. True Shot Barrage not doing anything as Beryl goes in, doesn't really find the angle that he wants, but the rise damage is still massive, and Gen.G, they lose out on the Dragon, and Beryl just gets himself out of there. These Shock Blasts, my God, to the skies. Boot back by Keen, which is pretty good, but not good enough as Canyon comes on over. Down goes Keen. The front line melts in the blink of an eye, and the Realm Warp to follow up. Chovy, I don't think he's getting out of this one. The feathers get pulled back, and he is now in the grave. Ruler going to follow. The Impale doesn't hit him, but he doesn't have any dashes left, and there is the clean ace for DK, the secure of the Dragon. They'll take down these turrets. Where has this team been? Why weren't they in the LCK Cup playoffs?
I don't know, but they're ramping up now, and they managed to just dismantle Gen.G in this game 1. Gen.G felt forced to fight the Dragon, not able to get a single kill. And Dplus making a statement with this game 1.
Yeah, absolutely gorgeous play. So much of it from this star rookie on the top side of the map. Legendary as they take down the Nexus.
But I will say the Lilia Gwen being available for Gen.G does help a good amount when you're playing into a Cho'Gath. The silence is pretty high value for them, but just the percentage shred goes a long way. And eat them, and it's that simple.
So right click. That's the mechanic that you need to be aware of. As all right, aiming is going to be able to slow down Ruler. Remember, this is from the work they did earlier, taking those 2 flashes, and they'll now take first blood. Canyon turns up, but he's a little bit late.
Moving over.
Yeah, Duro, Hex flashing, looking for a bit of an angle as Showmaker really wants to be able to get in here. It's going to be Canyon taking away one of these grubs. As already, of course, Lucid did manage to secure one, used his smite on it, and so he's just going to vacate. And Canyon will once again pick up 2 out of the 3. So was that Q, but not going to risk it. Flashes immediately, and Xiu not going to be dead just yet. As Lucid coming in, there is the ulti, and down goes Canyon. Showmaker actually just eats him, so that's going to be a stack there as well. Heroic charge gets Duro into the wall, and the Rupture going to miss once again. So it's only Canyon that goes down, but that is going to even out the Grubs to at least a little bit better than last game.
So I think he kind of pre-flashed, but just wasn't, those moments you expect to play, and Beryl is
Beryl's Hex flashing in. Chovy gonna try and kill Showmaker before he goes down, but Beryl is so scary. That Rupture is going to land, and even Lucid was here to play defense. That is going to be feats of warfare here for DK, and now Gen.G find themselves in about a 1,000 gold deficit. Not end of the world or anything like that, especially with Keen still being such a problem. Canyon moving down as he tries to hold him in place. Bowling ball going wide here. Xiu gonna have to vacate. Teleport does come in from the Cho'Gath, and there's the Glacial Prison. Canyon now trying to get himself out. Beryl comes in and just gonna grab the drive-by kill onto the Lilia, and 1 versus 5 is not gonna work for Keen.
In comparison to other champions, we think of champions of global, you can move around the map quickly like a Quinn. He's kind of just a really big Quinn is from Epic Monsters or Champions.
Yeah, much harder to stack up that way, as Duro is going to be discovered here by 2 burly gentlemen, as he does try and taxi his way out, but unfortunately he's going to get eaten, and that is another stack coming through. But I'm just trying not to talk about it, because I think this is the most jinxable team of all time, so let's just not make that happen, as Beryl is very far up. He's not afraid of dying, even if he hasn't done it yet, and now that's the caster curse. That's what we were talking about. First death, still going to be traded for Chovy perhaps, as the bullet time unfortunately out of range, as in comes Xiu, and that is going to spell the end, and the public execution actually going to get the flash out from Ruler.
I feel like everything is, this is DK, this is Beryl. Now we know for sure. Fight coming out.
Yeah, teleport actually coming on in here from the Quinn, as flash out from Showmaker. Still, Canyon comes on forward. The Herald is actually going to be secured by the MF, and it is the Quinn starting to pop off. Xiu looking to dash over Keen, under 100 health, and Beryl's coming in, Beryl, and knocks him down. Ruler can't win this 1v1 either, and aiming comes on over, flashes forward, says Beryl, stop stealing my kills, and Xiu says that he's the second coming of Keen, and he's going to be able to take down Canyon.
It kind of feels like that. He's ripped off the Band-Aid.
Yeah, I was going to make the Band-Aid reference. That is what it kind of feels like here, as feats of strength now going to come through for DK. It's going to make this Cho'Gath even faster, which is very scary. It's going to be a Hextech Soul, and I can confirm that Orcs was actually paying attention, but maybe not. Sorry, Chemtech. I always get the different techs.
I was too locked in on Beryl.
Yeah, you were too locked in on Beryl, and that's okay.
I will say though, as far as Chemtech teams go, there's a lot of people who are tanky on this team who will get value out of that. I think
Poppy as a
Beryl
champion is pretty key on
all
week, all season long so far, have looked way better themselves.
Yep. Just never try to understand people.
Yeah, I know, that's the thing. The more likely they are to lose, the less likely they are to lose, until you realize that that's the case, in which case they'll probably lose.
I didn't track that, but I think that
it makes no sense, but the less sense it makes, the more sense it makes for DK.
They have a great route here, actually. Gen.G, they could be caught out. They're going for the tower.
Yeah, looking for it. They will be able to take that one down, as they are spread. Beryl trying to find an angle, and immediately he sees Ruler, and he's going to look to kill him, but he now finds himself as the man caught out. Public execution gets Xiu into the backline as Beryl survives for so incredibly long, but is it actually going to work out? Because it's now 4 versus 5, and Xiu's going to make it 3. The sleep going to come on through there, and there is the one after the other. DK being cut down. And there we go. We thought for a second that DK were just going to play clean for the rest of the series. And it was that moment that immediately Gen.G answer back. They find a great Otacon play as well. They'll have a second life moving into the next stage of the game, and I think they will be able to transfer this into a gold lead as well.
You have Bloodthirster to sustain up, or you have Strut to get back to lane quickly, but still will force him away for now, and Showmaker's going to have to cover.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one. Showmaker, you can see, checking to make sure he's not going to get flanked. And yeah, this tower, not long for the world. That is going to mean Gen.G with about a 1,000 gold lead. Started to talk about DK being a good team.
Yeah, I mean,
okay. Keen will find Lucid.
There's the flank.
Now, yeah, that's a big teleport flank angle. Beryl going to come on over and gets the heroic charge. Chovy is immediately recalled as there's a Sejuani that's a bit sleepy, or is it Bristle?
I did start to consider this brush.
Yeah, Keen and Canyon will be able to spot him out. He does get control of the banana brush, but Lucid gonna have to put his body forward. Solar Flare gonna be avoided, but no! Actually, Beryl forced to McHale's himself, throws down the ulti though, and down goes Keen! He just oversteps in one moment. Phosphorus Bomb not going to land here as Lucid is still very low, and the Drake is still gonna be picked up there by Canyon. One kill. All it cost Gen.G to deny that soul point. Jonas Strong observing, and he is a bowler. As now, Xiu actually looking for a little bit of an exchange onto Keen here, already winning it out beautifully, and Showmaker's on the way. Is this a stack? He flashes for it. Grabs it with some ball spikes as DK gonna take down Keen for the 4th time. True. As all right, Gen.G, they're going to pull the Dragon out. DK not wanting to give this one up without a fight. You can see Bowling Ball going slightly wide. Rupture just to try and get them out of the banana brush.
He's so big.
Yeah, Shirelia's popped. As look at this, they go so fast. He's so large. There's the Glacial Prison. In they go. That's going to be the steal. That's also the Nom coming through from Showmaker, who takes down the Leona. Keen going golden. Ruler feels like he's in a safe place, but look at these health bars. They're going so low. Still, the curtain call is enough to make it happen. Aiming going to get flashed on here as Ruler says, nope, you're going down. And Chovy is collecting.
Chovy got so much value there, but also the ult from Ruler found a position to disengage from the fight, get that ult off, and just started picking up targets left and right. The initial fight went in favor of Dplus.
Wait, is it game over?
I think it might be.
There's so much damage.
20 seconds. I think it's just done. They have 4 grubs as well.
Yeah, and so they just need to keep these minions alive. Inhibitor does go down as Gen.G, they were thinking about it for a second there. They're like, wait a minute, we can just win. As Keen tanking up a bunch of turrets, but the turrets just don't exist.
Yeah, the next wave is there. It's only Beryl. He doesn't have ult.
Yeah, and Keen is going to be immune. There is no way Beryl's going to stop this one. As now Lucid, can you be the hero? The answer's no. One shot from Ruler.
So much dive potential in this top side. This feels like the sort of dive topside you see in solo queue.
Yeah.
Just go like 20-0.
Of course, over at Harmer Life Esports, coaching right now, but he managed to win more than 10 years ago.
It's surprising that it didn't show up.
Oh, so that's why you play Vex.
Yeah, pretty much.
And it was Faker that played it into LeBlanc, like you were talking about before.
Yep, a lot more recent. But yeah, I think the thing with the Zed is, I'm pretty sure on release he originally was a jungler. And then people started playing him in the lanes instead.
It's like it is going to be some more grubs to go over to Gen.G as well. As, all right, Beryl finding an angle here as Duro, remember, no Fate's Call to save him. Does still have Flash.
Yep, cooldown nearly up, but you can see it takes such a long time. Aiming and Beryl both have their ultimates, but they're not often a fight for these grubs. Instead of trading objectives again, so I did Chem Tech, now the Hex Tech.
And remember, this is not one of those times where you're like, oh, it doesn't matter if they get the grubs. 6 grubs is bait, and blah, blah, blah. As Chovy has found a Pop Blossom, and he's also found a Showmaker. He does get the fear off, and he needs to be able to one rotation this Vex if he wants to kill him, because the amount of CC that he has in response is pretty high.
Yep, absolutely. See the value though, having that Pop Blossom to add into your combo as the Silas pretty big, but with a 1-stack Rod of Ages, just didn't have full damage. Now it's a Cloud Soul.
Ooh, love that. Neil, who in a side lane, as we can see here, is just going to be a menace. First turret going over to Gen.G there, and they are one objective away from locking down feats of strength.
Mid lane to contest this. Looks like the priority is the Dragon though instead.
Yep, and that does make some sense. Xiu down here as well. It does mean that if they do then transition over towards the Dragon, then they have their Cassante already pushing up this wave and taking that turret on the bottom side. 500 gold to lead here for DK as that turret does fall.
Did you just see Ruler's Cleanse got burned? You saw in the picture-in-picture by Aiming's ult, but Aiming no longer having ult for this fight. They're all looking for this Dragon. It's getting low. Lucid's trying to find a look in.
Yeah, Lucid is in a bit of danger here, is what it kind of feels like to me. Of course, can go untargetable and keep himself safe as he doesn't get the smite. Xiu now dives in on top of all of them as he tries to get out. There's a Pop Blossom onto 3 somehow from Beryl with the first kill. Gonna go down already. Keen gonna get bailed out pretty quickly, and there it goes. Down goes the Vex, and Aiming in a whole host of trouble. Chovy looking for his first one as Canyon Getting on in there, Beryl going to be his target as Lucid jumping on top of Ruler, but Ruler gets over the wall with a gorgeous flash. The handshake says top of the morning to you, and down goes the hot dog. And it's just that bottom lane left alive, but are they going to be alive for much longer? As Chovy out of turret range, and that is going to keep him alive here as Gen.G, they grab themselves the feats of warfare, even though they didn't need them in an instant.
Huge fight win for Gen.G. They stop the dragon stacking and get kills exactly where they want them, you know.
Barely played it because it was banned every single game, even when she wasn't as high priority as she is now. And so this is certainly a dangerous option. Was put behind in lane. The problem is that now we're not in lane anymore. Now he has access to the Fate's Call and he can play out the team fights like he does so incredibly well on this champion. By DK. He's now Keen looking for an angle.
Aiming no flash.
Yeah. Hextech Ultimatum comes down. Pop Blossom in answer though, and it lands onto 3, but over the wall goes Chovy and helps pick up the bottom lane. The Vex now coming in and finding some value. They get 2, and Duro goes down as well. It's a 1-team fight already, but can DK get more? As we're getting the resets, and Showmaker gets on top of Ruler. No cleanse is going to cleanse him out of that one as the Nefiri Bleed takes down the Callista, and DK ain't done yet.
Huge overstep there from Gen.G. Look at the dive aiming under the tower. And the thing is, against a Vex, the difference between getting that initial kill and not getting it in the previous fight, the momentum they found, and now they get a chance to throw down that Herald mid. And just when things looked like they were slipping away from Dplus, they bite back.
2 on the Cassante as a result of that last skirmish, and has about a 700 gold lead. Is now Chovy caught in a side lane as Lucid going untargetable. It is going to be a bit of value here, but unfortunately, that ultimate not going to do anything to save his life.
Admire the skin. That's what we got out of that replay.
Yep. Oh, it's beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful. Canyon looking for an angle, but he won't find one. So this dragon is going to be soul point for DK. But it feels a little bit more relevant for Draven. As Canyon moving down towards his bottom side as Sheer. There is a Hextech Ultimatum problem that he has. Deathmark going to come on through, and they will not put their backs against the wall, so he had no way out. And down goes the top laner. On the other side of the map, no opportunity for a cross map here, as they wouldn't be able to do Otacon in time.
And a lot of high-value objectives on this top side of the map, and you can see teams contesting control with that vision that's set up there. But Keen, ever a menace in the side lanes on this pick.
Set as Keen looking for that flank angle, looking for that opportunity. The rest of DK staying stalwart, seeing what they can do. As Gen.G a little bit split is what it feels like, but if they time it correctly, it can be devastating here for DK. Duro's still down very, very low, and there's no Fate's Call. Remember, Pop Blossom finds 3. The Otacon is taken by Gen.G, though they have the extra life. As now Showmaker taking so much damage. Into the backline goes Keen. It's a DK disaster, and Gen.G just roll over the top.
Decimation. It's so hard to contest the Otacon against the Callista, against the Zed, the execute value. It's secured by Gen.G, but even if it wasn't, they just demolished them in the fight.
No chance whatsoever. We know the danger of this Otacon, and Gen.G, they are the ones that learnt it the most. They see another team just purchased, immediately upgraded, and I don't know whether the DK Dragon Soul Dream is going to be alive for very much longer, as they do take down the second Cloud Drake for Gen.G.
The composition of Dplus. They got a lot of burst, but when you're behind like this, it's going to take everything in the kitchen sink to kill some of these bulkier targets.
Yep.
And the thing is, even if you kill someone now, they're just recalled. So, Chains of Corruption misses.
Yep, and also Keen has a Guardian Angel as well, so you not only have to kill him once, you have to kill him again. As Gen.G splitting, they have got Canyon in the mid lane as Lucid looking for the angle there. Canyon might just be dead, and yeah, he's not going to be getting out of this one. So the recall or the withdraw going to be procced. The rest of Gen.G now focusing on taking down this inhibitor turret on the bottom side as Keen looks to dive in. Pop Blossom used defensively here against Chovy as his Chains of Corruption are going to miss. And still the inhibitor goes down. Still Chovy is fighting. Still he realizes that he's just got a withdrawal. So he's going to be able to proc that as Sheer going down so incredibly low. And there is that true damage from Keen to execute the Cassante.
We'll have some notes on that one.
Yeah, we'll just have to see. As now, DK wanting to get this defense working as Ruler's going to get Pop Blossomed. Ruler diving on top of him, or attempting to, as Jovi is the problem. He's got a Pop Blossom of his own, and they take down aiming. Canyon, absolutely absurd damage as well, and he just gets himself out. The death mark was just so good. And wow, Cassante was there. Okay, she very, very far north, but he is also going to be eviscerated. 5-0 and 6 for the Z jungle of Canyon. And they're going to be able to take another inhibitor. This might just be the end of the game right now, and Gen.G looking to stay undefeated here in the LCK. And DK staying defeated against Gen.G despite everything they were able to get done in this series. Showmaker goes down yet again. Canyon on about 0 health, but he doesn't really need too much. And Duro diving on into the fountain. The Nexus will fall. And the fate of DK is to continue to be just this close.
These were some of the best highlights from today's matchup. Which moment was your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. This is OP, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.